Asher flips the journal's last page, revealing a photograph: Nathan Grant standing beside Matthew Clark, smiling. Behind them, the man Asher saw at the gala. The truth wasn't buried in the past. It was standing right in front of him. Rumors began spreading. Donovan, Grant's new ally, whispered lies that Wilson's workshop was failing. Orders stopped. Workers left. The dream began to crumble. But Asher refused to watch it die. With Clara's help, he crafted wooden signs across town. Wilson's workshop, where dreams are carved. When Asher saw her paint-stained smile, he realized hope was something you carved together. Still, betrayal lurked within. One evening, Asher saw Henry, a senior craftsman, meeting Donovan behind the workshop. Money exchanged hands. His stomach twisted. The next morning, tension filled the air. Henry's accusations flew, claiming Asher had stolen designs, that Wilson had grown too old to see the truth. The workers wavered. Wilson stayed silent, frail but watching. Then Asher stepped forward. His voice shook, but his heart didn't. "You're wrong. This workshop isn't dying. It's just learning to begin again, just like every piece of wood we carve." He pulled a cloth from a table, revealing a sculpture he'd made in secret: a wooden tree carved from scraps, rough but radiant. Each ornament bore initials, of every worker, of Wilson, of Clara, of his father. The room fell silent. Wilson's eyes filled with tears. "It's beautiful," he whispered. And as the crowd erupted in applause, a voice from the doorway spoke. "He gets it from his father." Asher turned. The tall man stepped forward, his father, Matthew Clark. The room froze. Mabel entered behind him, her eyes shimmering. Father and son stood face to face, years of silence collapsing under the weight of a single truth. "I left to protect you," Matthew said. "But you've done what I couldn't, you rebuilt what was broken." Asher's voice cracked. "No, Father, we did." The camera pans over the finished wooden tree, glowing under Christmas lights. Each ornament catches the light, a symbol of hope reborn. That night, I learned something my mother always believed. Even the smallest act of courage can carve a new beginning. And sometimes, the greatest masterpiece is the life you rebuild from broken pieces. Fade out to snowfall. The sound of carving continues softly as the screen fades to black. Courage, legacy, and redemption. The belief that even broken beginnings can carve beautiful endings. Kindness doesn't just change others, it changes you. Imagine risking your life for a stranger, only to ask for nothing in return but something so simple, so pure, that it brings a powerful man to his knees. This is the story of Arjun, a 15-year-old delivery boy whose one act of courage changed not just a life, but a legacy. By the end of this story, you'll understand why millions around the world still talk about the wish that made a millionaire cry. 45 seconds. The night was heavy with rain, the kind that drowns out every sound and fills every crack in the road. Arjun's thin jacket was soaked, his worn sneakers squelching in the puddles as he hurried through the dark streets of Mumbai. He worked late delivering food, his mother was sick, his father gone, and school had long become a luxury he couldn't afford. Lightning split the sky as he stopped at a traffic light, waiting under a rusted sign. Suddenly, a loud crash shattered the silence. A car had skidded across the slick road, spinning before slamming into a street pole. Arjun dropped his delivery bag and sprinted. Smoke rose from the car's hood. Inside, a woman was slumped against the wheel, her face pale, her eyes fluttering. When he reached the window, he froze. She was pregnant. "Ma'am! Ma'am, can you hear me?" he shouted. No response. The fuel was leaking fast, the smell thick and dangerous. Panic clawed at his chest, but Arjun didn't think twice. He pulled on the broken door handle, jammed. He looked around and saw a rock on the roadside, smashed the window, and reached inside, cutting his arms in the process. The woman stirred weakly, whispering, "My baby." With trembling hands, Arjun pulled her free just moments before the engine burst into flames. He shielded her with his own body as the car exploded behind them, glass raining down like shards of fire. Sirens blared in the distance. As paramedics rushed in, Arjun backed away quietly, bleeding and soaked. He didn't wait for thanks. He just picked up his torn delivery bag and walked off into the night. But someone did see him. 18 minutes and 40 seconds. The next morning, every news channel in the city was replaying the story, Mysterious Boy Saves Pregnant Woman in Car Explosion. The woman was revealed to be Maya Kapoor, the wife of billionaire real estate tycoon Raghav Kapoor. Raghav hadn't slept all night. He stood beside his wife's hospital bed, holding her hand, tears in his eyes. The doctors said if that boy hadn't acted so quickly, both Maya and their unborn child would have been lost. Raghav made one promise: find that boy. I owe him everything. For days, the city buzzed with searches and rewards. Flyers went up, CCTV footage reviewed. But Arjun was nowhere to be found. He didn't have a phone, didn't watch TV. He was back on his bicycle, delivering food like nothing had happened. Until one evening, a black car pulled up beside him. Two men stepped out. "You're Arjun, right? Mr. Kapoor wants to meet you." Arjun's heart stopped. He thought he was in trouble. But when they took him to the Kapoor mansion, a vast estate glittering under chandeliers, he realized this was something else entirely. Raghav stood waiting, his face lined with exhaustion but warmth in his eyes. "You're the boy who saved my wife." Arjun looked down shyly. "Anyone would have done it, sir." "No," Raghav said, voice breaking. "Not anyone. You risked your life for a stranger. Please, let me do something for you. Money, education, anything, just name it." Arjun hesitated, eyes glistening. "Sir, can I think about it?" Raghav nodded, deeply moved. He saw something in the boy's humility that no wealth could buy. 52 minutes. A week later, Arjun returned to the Kapoor mansion. He was nervous, clutching a small paper note in his hand. Raghav and Maya greeted him warmly, Maya's belly now protected, her smile radiant with gratitude. "So, Arjun," Raghav said gently. "What is it that you wish for?" Arjun's voice was soft but steady. "Sir, I don't want money or gifts. I just want a job. A chance. I want to take care of my mother and go back to school." Raghav blinked, stunned. "That's it? After what you did for my family?" Arjun nodded. "You already gave me something greater, sir. Your wife and child, they're safe. That's enough for me." For a moment, no one spoke. Then Maya's eyes filled with tears. She stood and hugged the boy. "You saved 2 lives that night, Arjun. You deserve a life full of dreams." Raghav turned away, wiping his eyes. He called his assistant immediately. "Enroll this boy in the best school in the city. And from today, his mother's medical bills are mine to pay." Arjun's lips trembled. "Sir, I didn't." Raghav placed a hand on his shoulder. "You asked for a chance, Arjun. I'm just making sure you never lose it." And from that day, Arjun's life began to change. 1 hour 32 minutes and 20 seconds. Months passed. Arjun balanced school and part-time work at Raghav's company. He grew sharper, kinder, and more confident. His mother's health improved, and his small home was filled again with laughter. When Maya finally gave birth, she invited Arjun to the hospital. "There's someone who wants to meet his hero," she said with a smile, handing him the newborn. Arjun held the tiny baby in his arms, speechless. "He's beautiful," he whispered. Raghav looked at him, voice trembling. "We named him Arjun, after the boy who reminded us that kindness is the greatest wealth." Tears rolled down the boy's cheeks. "Sir, I don't know what to say." "You already did," Raghav replied softly. "That night, when you chose courage over comfort, you said everything." The camera pans out slowly, the boy, the family, and the newborn who carried his name, a symbol of how one selfless act can ripple through generations. 1 hour and 40 minutes. Sometimes, the richest people in the world aren't those with money, but those with hearts brave enough to give without expecting anything in return.